Hello again. We're using colored pencils on this color wheel, and so to go along with the PowerPoint, starting at slide 21, I wanted to show you some of the basic pencil techniques. Slide 22 says you want to start with a lighter color. So for example, if you're doing orange, which is what I used on the slide, you'd start with yellow. If you're doing green, you would also start with yellow. And if you're doing violet or purple, you would start with the red. So the example I have is showing you how to use the blending. We had done hatching, cross-hatching, stippling, and a combination. What we're going to use is the blending technique. And the way you want to do that is to work with the side of your pencil, and this is also going to help you get pencil control by staying in the lines. Art is not about staying in the lines all the time, definitely, but for pencil control it's a good exercise. So again, holding the pencil from the side like we did with the black and white, you want to work just a light layer. Now, a little bit later on, when you get to the slide where it's building up the primaries, since you're not mixing, you'd start with a light layer and keep on building that until you get a good intense color. On this one, we're working with oranges. So we've got the yellow down. And the next thing I want to do is to add a layer of red. When you do this, get a good coverage. You want it to be smooth and complete right to the edge. You don't want little pockets of bare yellow showing through. So not only am I showing you mixing colors, and this will work with the greens and with the violets, but it's also about the order of creating the color wheel. Because even though we're shooting for orange, what we just created is a yellow orange. So you start with yellow, and you add a little bit of red. Yellow is your pure color. A little bit of yellow mixed with some red on top is yellow orange. Probably for yellow orange, I'd want to go back and put one more layer of yellow. And it's just back and forth between whatever ingredients you have. If you're mixing brown, for example, you're going from yellow to red to blue to yellow to red to blue, and just doing small or thin light layers. So that's a yellow orange. If I keep building it, what I'm going to end up with is an orange. All the same ingredients, just different amounts. So I'm a little closer now to an orange. Though it doesn't always happen this smoothly. Sometimes I may want my orange to have one more layer of red and yellow. Then if I want to take this to a red orange, just keep on building it up. What's happening is it's getting more red than yellow. On the other end, yellow orange had more yellow than red, and orange is a good kind of an even combination. Still an orange, but it's a red orange. And that's the basic technique. If I pan out here a little bit, and we look at a finished color wheel. This is the skeleton from the last video that we put together. What we just created is what's called an analogous family. So you've got this little group right here is what we just did. Here's your raw ingredients. and any two primaries, you found this from the PowerPoint, will create a secondary. And if you mix a secondary and it's adjacent, or a primary and it's adjacent secondary, adjacent meaning right next to it, you create an intermediate. So red plus red orange, or red plus orange, excuse me, is red orange. Yellow plus orange is yellow orange. It has to be adjacent because you couldn't mix red and, for example, blue violet. That's not going to work. So adjacent means right next to it. Okay. Now when you mix these on the color wheel, to me it's a lot easier, and this is what it shows on the PowerPoint, is I would do yellow, 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 yellow. Just all of them look yellow. Then I would build that one up more and more until it gets that good solid color. I would create a red, building it up so it's a good solid color. Then I would add a light layer of red, light layer of red, light layer of red. A little more yellow, and that one's pretty much done. Be yellow orange. Kind of put some more yellow in here to build the layers up. A little more red and yellow, and you get to an orange. And you keep on repeating here. So you kind of go lighter to darker. Your pure ingredients. These are mixtures of layers of yellow and red. When you get a few, you get yellow orange. Builds up. The orange starts showing through with more red. Then you get red orange. Notice you get the same thing. Lighter to darker. You go from red violet, violet, and blue violet. And from yellow to blue, you go from yellow green green to blue green. On the brown, or the color neutral, that's all three primaries. That's what the arrows show. And again, it's just yellow, red, blue, yellow, red, blue. One key with the color neutral, and this is really important when you're trying to get a brown, as you're mixing it, start off by doing just what I said, was mixing yellow, red, and blue. So you'll have an orange. The blue will pick up either on the red and it'll look kind of purple, or it'll pick up on the yellow and kind of look green. So when you're mixing this, what you're trying to do, the neutral and color neutral, means you're canceling out all the colors, so it just looks brown. So in this one I'm kind of seeing green, which means I'm seeing more yellow and blue. So if I'm seeing more green, I add its complement, which is straight across on the color wheel. So if I see green, add red. So when I add the red, it may start looking a little violet. So it starts going this direction. So I add a little more yellow. So what you do is you get a layer of each down, yellow, red, and blue, and then you just start fine-tuning it. And it kind of is sort of predictable. But you look at it and decide, okay, now it's kind of going orange, which means a little more blue. Blue is very strong. It's the darkest value of all the colors. So you want to go kind of light with it. A little bit of green showing. So we'll go red. A little violety. So a little yellow. And what you end up with eventually is your brown. So this brown is a warmer brown. That brown is more of a true brown. So there's a lot of things with the color wheel that can help you out. These are things you'll see in future videos and future assignments, is that not only you have primaries, secondaries, intermediates, you have color schemes, like any one color and its tints and shades, light and dark. You've got complements. We just mentioned that those help make brown, but it's also a color scheme. You have a triad. Here's one, and here's one. And you have an analogous little family. Most of the time you add at least one primary, you add one primary. So that's an analogous, that's an analogous. Even that's an analogous. It goes over into the violets. 4 colors. So pay attention on the color schemes, and you'll see how the color wheel will help you figure those out. So try these. Go back and look on the PowerPoint. Try that blending, lighter to darker, building up sets like this, and just kind of practice the pencils before we get to this stage.